Hello everyone, it is Kim from Kim's Collectibles and I'm back today with a fun little side quest type video. We're going to take a break from the unboxing content just this one time, and I'm going to actually give a little spoiler of something really cool that I got in one of the boxes that I opened. So I got impatient and I did a bunch of research on these cool canisters with these lids, and I learned, now I have 5 of them here. So this one, it says tea, and this is the one, it has a really cool little bubble. Something cool about Depression glass and Depression era glass is that their manufacturing techniques were not perfect. They were not refined. And so you see things, oddities like that, like this little bubble right here. And so this one says tea, and then the rest of these just have blank section where you can put a label. This one's smaller than that one. So I think it's a graduated set. Well, actually that's a lie. These two are the same size. But I have this one, which has another little bubble, and is actually kind of wavy. It's a little bit irregular there. And then these two little ones. And this one's really fun. It's pink, first of all. Second of all, I think someone stabbed holes in it to use this as a powdered sugar shaker. Now, Depression glass powdered sugar shakers are very hard to come by. I went to the Depression Glass Museum in West Virginia, and they had a display, and the table had one of these on it. It was a breakfast display. I think it was the theme of like a Christmas morning fancy breakfast, and the nameplate data made sure to call out the powdered sugar shaker because I guess that's just a very sought after piece. So I think someone actually made their own little sugar shaker. But this one's cool. It's a little fancier than the rest, and it has a foot on it. So I did research on these canisters because I was very interested. I haven't really seen anything like it, or I guess maybe if I have at a store, I didn't take notice of it because I'm so busy looking for things like this that I'll miss looking at something like this. But I was very curious when I unboxed it, and you'll see that in one of the videos coming up in the near future. But I did my research, and they're from something called and forgive me if I mispronounce this, a Hoosier cabinet. It's Hoosier, and they're from Indiana. So something interesting. I worked all day today, actually, on a water treatment facility in Indiana. I was designing some of the systems that are going to go into that. And so instead of thinking about my mechanical engineering stuff, we're going to go somewhere a little bit more fun, a little bit more creative than sanitary piping. And we're going to talk about Hoosier cabinets and Hoosier canisters. So when I was in college, I took an architecture 101 class, and that was by far my favorite class. It was an elective. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but it basically went through historical architecture trends, and I started playing a game with myself where you drive past a house or a building and you can identify, like, oh, that's Georgian, that's Federal, that's Colonial, and you look for little, kind of the same type of game I play with myself at an antique store is what I do when I go out looking at architecture. But I did a research paper, it was a homework assignment, on the evolution of the open floor plan. And this actually has a lot of history. So traditionally, like, gosh, 100-ish to 150 years ago, your average middle class to upper middle class family would have had a cook or a servant or a butler. So when you're looking at houses from that time frame, you'll often see like a butler's pantry, or the dining room will have a closing door and it'll be a very private space, and the kitchen will be in the back of the house and very closed off. And so I looked at the evolution of that design to what we have today, which is just you walk into a house, the kitchen's in the corner, and it's very open floor plan. And what we found is that over time, as the economy changed, families no longer had maids and servants, and instead it was the wife that was doing most of the homemaking and the cooking. And so she wanted to be, like, think 1950s, you have your kitchen with the window that opens to the backyard so that mom can watch the kids while she's cooking, or like she can talk to the guests in the living room while she's cooking. And then now oftentimes you see that the kitchen is the entertainment space. You have a very large like island with chairs, and you have your food out, and it's just a very like a space where honestly you have to prepare a meal and have a clean kitchen to host in the kitchen. And so I think brand new homes that are being built in like 2025 will actually have two kitchens. They'll have a messy kitchen, which is in the back of the house, where you'll do all your food preparation, and then you'll have the clean kitchen that you're going to host in. So some houses, especially like the large ones, might actually have two kitchens in them, and I find that absolutely fascinating. But going back to the early 1900s, before you had consistent running water in the kitchen, or your refrigeration was going to be an ice house that like was in a hill built into your yard, and they would truck in ice, and that was your refrigerator. So the process of cooking used to be very spread out. So you'd have your refrigeration over here, and you'd have your water over here, and basically to cook a meal you're running around. And also without a refrigerator, I mean, you're going to get meat, and you're going to butcher a lot of things yourself. You might be butchering your own chicken, and it's going to make a mess, and it's going to create smells, and that's why the dining rooms of that period had like a closing door, and they're more separated, is to separate the cooking smells from where you're going to eat. And so these kitchens that were very sparse, very spread out, as the mom or the homemaker of the house started doing all of the cooking herself, the concept of step saving started coming into play, and that's where there's Hoosier cabinets, which are your step saver cabinets. Essentially, it's a large piece of furniture that has cabinets, like cupboards. Now keep in mind, this is before the concept of like built-in kitchen cabinets. So this is a piece of furniture that you would buy that has cabinets on the bottom, and then a countertop space, and then cabinets on the top. So essentially, modern kitchen design, but it's in a piece of furniture. And I guess this company in Indiana was just the first person, or the first company to really capitalize on this market opportunity. So in these Hoosier cabinets, they would come stocked with this. And the concept was, it was your one-stop baking station. So you're going to have your flour, your sugar, your spices. You can put your spices, cinnamon sticks or nutmeg, whatever, tea, sugar, powdered sugar. You're going to have all of this available. So you're going to, like, as the woman of the house at the time baking, you're going to be standing at this cabinet, and you're going to have all your ingredients. You're going to have a countertop space to work with, and then you have space underneath where you're going to keep your baking dishes. So this step saver cabinet would come stock with these things so that you can, of course, unbox everything. I know a lot of times, like Walmart, for example, they'll have plastic Tupperware. I mean, this is a little bit before plastic containers time, but it just looks nice. So you're going to have these stocked up in your cabinet, and you're going to do your baking. So these are actually like pretty collectible. I think there is a group of people that are very interested in this. I got most of my information off of a website of people that collect these and sell them and talk about them. And of course, Wikipedia was a pretty good source of information for me. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys about these really cool canisters and the history behind them. I think my great-great-grandmother may have had one of those cabinets. So yeah, it's just really cool. The lids are in great shape. I know a lot of times with older glass, you're going to get some lids that are gross or pretty corroded. I think these are aluminum, so they're not going to corrode out. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening to my random knowledge that I got from a class that I took 3 years ago, and it's all coming back to me because I unboxed glass canisters from the type of furniture that I had to do research on for a paper. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm excited to talk about more things coming up soon. But once again, it was Kim from Kim's Collectibles, and I look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Thank you.